Put salt in your shoes today. Not tomorrow, not when you finally feel ready. Not when the world becomes kinder or your schedule becomes lighter or your courage becomes convenient. Today, because salt is not comfort. Salt is not softness. Salt is not luxury. Salt is sensation. Salt reminds the body that it is alive. Salt reminds the mind that it has been asleep. Salt reminds the spirit that it was not created to glide through life untouched. I am not asking you to hurt yourself. I am asking you to wake yourself. We have become experts at cushioning our lives. We pad our disappointments. We soften our failures. We rename our fear and call it being realistic. We turn delay into a personality trait. We turn hesitation into a lifestyle. We walk carefully. We walk politely. We walk quietly. We walk as if our dreams are fragile glass instead of living fire. But there comes a moment in every life when comfort becomes the most dangerous place you can stand. And today is that moment. Put salt in your shoes today, and you will feel every step. You will notice how heavy your excuses are. You will notice how long you have been walking in circles. You will notice how often you have said, soon, to the life that keeps begging for now. Salt does not lie. It tells the truth immediately. It stings where the wound already exists. It burns where the skin is already broken. It awakens the places you have ignored. And that is why most people avoid it. Because it is easier to stay numb than to be honest. It is easier to scroll than to reflect. It is easier to complain than to correct. It is easier to wait than to rise. But you were not built to be easy. You were built to be awake. Some of you in this room have survived things that would have shattered smaller stories. You have buried people. You have buried versions of yourself. You have swallowed your words. You have folded your pride. You have learned how to smile while standing in emotional ruins. And still you doubt your strength. Still you wonder if you are capable. Still you ask for permission to become who you already are. Listen to me. Your survival is not an accident. Your resilience is not random. Your endurance is not luck. It is evidence. It is proof that something powerful has always lived inside you, even when you were too tired to call it by its name. But survival is not the same as living. Breathing is not the same as belonging to your life. Getting through the day is not the same as owning your destiny. So today, put salt in your shoes. Let every step remind you that you are responsible for the direction of your feet. Let every sting remind you that your comfort has been quietly negotiating with your potential. Let every sharp breath remind you that growth does not arrive gently. It arrives honestly. You don't need another motivational quote. You don't need another perfect planner. You don't need another promise to yourself that you will break quietly. You need one brave, inconvenient decision. One moment when you stop bargaining with your fear. One moment when you stop shrinking your voice to protect the feelings of people who never protected your future. One moment when you stop asking, what if it fails? And finally ask, what if I don't try? Put salt in your shoes today, because the life you keep dreaming about is not waiting for you to feel confident. It is waiting for you to feel committed. Confidence comes after action, not before it. Courage is not a personality, it is a practice. And you practice it by choosing discomfort on purpose, by choosing the honest conversation, by choosing the unfinished skill, by choosing the awkward beginning, by choosing the unfamiliar road, by choosing yourself when it would be easier to disappear. I know how seductive comfort can be. Comfort whispers, you've done enough. Comfort says, rest a little longer. Comfort says, someone else will notice you. Comfort says, your time will come. But comfort never tells you how much of your life it has quietly stolen. It never shows you the unopened doors. It never introduces you to the stronger version of yourself you were supposed to meet. Comfort is polite. Growth is demanding. Growth knocks loudly. Growth interrupts your routine. Growth refuses to wait until you feel ready. And growth, like salt, touches the sensitive parts first. Some of you have been protecting your wounds instead of healing them. You tiptoe around your heartbreak. You decorate your disappointment. You normalize your loneliness. You learn how to function around your pain instead of through it. But healing does not come from avoidance. Healing comes from courage. Healing comes when you finally look at what hurt you and say, you do not get to define me. Healing comes when you stop turning your trauma into a permanent address. Your past may have shaped you, but it does not own you. Your history may have bruised you, but it does not command you. Your mistakes may have taught you, but they do not imprison you. Put salt in your shoes today. Walk away from the story that keeps you small. Walk toward the work that scares you because it matters. Walk toward the person you have been postponing. You are not late to your life. You are early enough to change it. And let me tell you something gently but firmly. The world does not need a quieter version of you. It does not need you to make yourself easier to digest. It does not need you to make yourself smaller to keep peace. It does not need you to dilute your truth so others can remain comfortable in their confusion. It needs your clarity. It needs your courage. It needs your willingness to stand in your full voice and say, "This is who I am becoming." There is a holy stubbornness inside you, a stubbornness that refuses to accept that this is all there is. A stubbornness that keeps whispering at night, "You were meant for more than this routine, more than this role, more than this silence." That voice is not arrogance. That voice is alignment. That voice is your future calling you by your real name. But you cannot answer that call while standing still. You cannot answer it while rehearsing excuses. You cannot answer it while waiting for approval from people who are still negotiating with their own fear. Put salt in your shoes today. Let your walk become intentional. Let your time become sacred. Let your energy become protected. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everyone deserves your access. Not every opportunity deserves your yes. You have been spending your life like it is renewable. Like you can always make more time. Like you can always recover lost years. Like your body will always carry your postponement without protest. But time is not generous. It is precise. It gives you exactly what you use. No more, no less. And the tragedy is not that life is short. The tragedy is that we live most of it on pause. We wait to be chosen. We wait to be recognized. We wait to be ready. But readiness is built, not granted. You build it in imperfect motion. You build it in shaky beginning. You build it in showing up when your voice trembles and your hands doubt and your heart still remembers every reason to stay hidden. Courage does not erase fear. Courage walks with it. Put salt in your shoes today, because pain when faced honestly becomes power. Discomfort when chosen deliberately becomes discipline. Struggle when understood deeply becomes strength. You don't grow by escaping difficulty. You grow by meeting it with integrity. Some of you are carrying dreams that are heavy because you have been carrying them alone. You never spoke them out loud because you were afraid someone would laugh. You never tried because you were afraid you would fail. You never began because you were afraid you would be seen. But let me tell you this. Being unseen is not safety. It is slow erosion. It is slow forgetting. It is slow betrayal of the self you promised to honor. You were not born to be invisible. You were born to be present. Fully present. In your work, in your relationships, in your choices, in your courage, in your boundaries, in your joy. Joy is not something you earn after suffering long enough. Joy is something you protect while you build. Joy is not shallow. Joy is resistance. Joy is defiance against everything that tried to convince you that survival was the highest version of your existence. Put salt in your shoes today. Choose the brave habit, the brave conversation, the brave application, the brave exit, the brave beginning. Choose to say no without apology. Choose to say yes without shrinking. Choose to stop explaining your dreams to people who have no intention of understanding them. Your vision does not need a committee. It needs commitment. And listen to me carefully. You do not have to become someone else to become someone greater. You do not have to erase your softness to claim your strength. You do not have to silence your tenderness to be powerful. Your compassion is not your weakness. Your empathy is not your flaw. Your sensitivity is not your failure. They are your intelligence. But your kindness must include you. Your patience must include your own becoming. Your forgiveness must not turn into permission for people to keep harming your future. Boundaries are not cruelty. They are clarity. And clarity will save your energy for the work that truly matters. Put salt in your shoes today. Let your steps burn away your hesitation. Let your movement rewire your doubt. Let your courage interrupt your old narrative. The one that said you were too late, too broken, too inexperienced, too quiet, too different. Different is not a disadvantage. Different is your leverage. Different is your language. Different is your contribution. Do not sand yourself down to fit spaces that were never built for your shape. Build your own table. Build your own rhythm. Build your own definition of success. And make sure that definition includes rest, joy, connection, and integrity. Because winning without wholeness is just another kind of loss. Put salt in your shoes today. Let it teach you where you have been avoiding growth. Let it show you where you have been carrying resentment instead of responsibility. Let it reveal the patterns you keep repeating because they feel familiar, not because they feel right. Familiar pain is seductive. It convinces you that at least you know how to survive it. But you were not created to master survival. You were created to practice expansion, to practice courage, to practice love that begins with self-respect, to practice honesty when it would be easier to perform, to practice standing alone when it would be safer to disappear into the crowd. And yes, you will stumble. Yes, you will doubt. Yes, you will have days when the salt feels heavier than your strength. But strength is not the absence of struggle. Strength is your willingness to stay present inside it. You are allowed to rest. You are not allowed to quit on your becoming. You are allowed to cry. You are not allowed to abandon yourself in the process. You are allowed to change your mind. You are not allowed to change your worth. Put salt in your shoes today. Because somewhere ahead of you is a version of yourself who is already grateful that you decided to move. A version of you who learned the skill you were afraid to begin. A version of you who healed the wound you were scared to touch. A version of you who chose courage on an ordinary day and quietly transformed an entire life. That future is not waiting for perfection. It is waiting for participation. So walk, even when your knees tremble, even when your voice shakes, even when your past tries to pull you back into a smaller story. Walk toward the life that asks more of you because it sees more in you. Walk toward the work that scares you because it aligns you. Walk toward the people who meet your honesty with respect. Walk toward your own approval. And when it stings, when it burns, when it wakes you up, smile. Because that pain is not punishment. It is proof that you finally stopped numbing yourself to your own potential. Put salt in your shoes today and let your life transform, not because the road became easy, but because you finally became brave enough to walk it. Movement creates confidence, not the other way around. I know that goes against everything you were taught. You were taught to wait until you feel ready. You were taught to wait until the fear disappears. You were taught to wait until the voice in your head becomes kinder, softer, more encouraging. You were taught to wait until the timing is perfect, the plan is flawless, the risk is smaller, the outcome is clearer. But readiness is not something you discover. It is something you build. And you do not build it by standing still. You build it by moving while your hands are shaking. You build it by speaking while your voice trembles. You build it by beginning while your mind is still full of questions. You build it by choosing action in the presence of doubt. Most people think confidence is a feeling. It is not. It is a memory. It is the memory of surviving what you once thought you could not. It is the memory of showing up when you were afraid. It is the memory of keeping your word to yourself when nobody else was watching. Confidence does not come before the step. It comes because you took the step. And right now, too many of you are standing at the edge of your own lives waiting for an emotion that only appears after motion. You are waiting for courage to arrive before you try. You are waiting for certainty to arrive before you decide. You are waiting for confidence to arrive before you begin. But confidence is not waiting for you. It is waiting on you. It is waiting for proof. Proof that you are willing to participate in your own future. Look at how you talk to yourself. You say things like, "I'm not ready yet." You say, "I need more time." You say, "I just need to feel a little more confident first." And what you really mean is, "I don't want to feel exposed." Because exposure is uncomfortable. Exposure is being seen while unfinished. Exposure is being heard while uncertain. Exposure is being judged while still learning. Exposure is being visible before you feel valuable. But let me tell you something gently. You will never feel worthy of the life you want before you start living it. You feel worthy by living it. You do not build confidence in hiding. You build it in motion. Every time you delay action, your fear grows stronger. Not because fear is powerful, but because fear feeds on inaction. Fear survives on hesitation. Fear gets comfortable in postponement. Fear becomes familiar when you keep choosing safety over growth. And familiarity can look a lot like peace. But it is not. It is stagnation. Some of you have been rehearsing your dreams instead of practicing them. You imagine the conversation. You imagine the success. You imagine the applause. You imagine the version of you who finally feels brave. But imagination without movement becomes a quiet form of self-betrayal. Because every day you picture the life you want without stepping toward it, you teach your mind that desire does not require discipline. You teach your heart that longing does not require action. You teach your future that you are comfortable watching it from a distance. Movement creates confidence. Action builds identity. You do not become disciplined and then start showing up. You start showing up, and discipline forms around your behavior. You do not become courageous and then speak. You speak, and courage grows inside the sound of your own voice. You do not become strong and then lift the weight. You lift the weight, and strength enters your body through repetition. You do not become confident and then change your life. You change your life, and confidence becomes your witness. There is a quiet lie that has been passed down to us. The lie says that successful people are different, that they are wired differently, that they are born with something you were not given, that their confidence came first and their action came second. But what separates them is not fearlessness. It is movement. They learned how to move before their mind agreed. They learned how to walk while still doubting their direction. They learned how to speak while still editing their courage. They learned how to begin while still carrying uncertainty in their pockets. Most people don't fail because they are incapable. They fail because they try to negotiate with fear. They wait for fear to approve the plan. They wait for fear to confirm the timing. They wait for fear to feel smaller. But fear does not shrink when you wait. Fear shrinks when you move. Your nervous system learns safety through experience, not through imagination. Your brain learns trust through evidence, not through intention. Your confidence is shaped by your behavior, not your affirmations, not your motivation, not your inspirational videos, your behavior, what you do when you don't feel like it, what you choose when nobody is pushing you, what you practice when nobody is applauding you. That is what becomes your confidence. And I want you to notice something powerful. Every confident person you admire has a history you cannot see, a history of awkward beginnings, a history of mistakes made in public, a history of rejection that bruised their pride, a history of moments when they wanted to disappear but chose to stay. Confidence is not loud. It is layered. It is layered with attempts. It is layered with failure. It is layered with humility. It is layered with repetition. Some of you have built a beautiful personality around potential. People tell you, you could be so great. And you carry that sentence like protection. Because as long as you are potential, you do not have to be evaluated. As long as you are potential, you do not have to risk disappointment. As long as you are potential, you can stay safe from real feedback. But potential is not a legacy. It is an invitation. And invitations only matter when you accept them. Movement creates confidence, not intelligence, not talent, not preparation. Movement. The smallest action taken today is more powerful than the most perfect plan you never start. You don't need to redesign your entire life in 1 week. You need one honest step, one real attempt, one uncomfortable outreach, one imperfect application, one brave message, one early morning, one difficult boundary, one courageous decision. And when you take it, something shifts inside you. Not magically, biologically. Your brain starts collecting evidence that you are not as fragile as you thought. Your body starts learning that anxiety does not kill you. Your identity begins to change. You stop seeing yourself as someone who dreams. You start seeing yourself as someone who moves. That identity is what creates momentum. And momentum is what silences doubt. Not because doubt disappears, but because doubt becomes less persuasive when your actions keep proving it wrong. Some of you are waiting to feel confident enough to leave a situation that is slowly shrinking you. You are waiting to feel confident enough to walk away from disrespect. You are waiting to feel confident enough to claim your time, your energy, your space. But your confidence will not arrive while you keep choosing what drains you. It will arrive when you choose what protects you. Your confidence is built by alignment, by doing what matches your values, by saying what matches your truth, by living in a way that does not require you to betray yourself quietly. Self-respect is one of the strongest sources of confidence you will ever experience. And self-respect is not an emotion. It is a behavior. It is what you tolerate. It is what you allow. It is what you continue. It is what you stop. Every time you choose yourself in a small, uncomfortable way, your confidence grows roots. And roots grow underground before anything is visible. You cannot rush this, but you can choose it. Some of you are afraid that if you move too early, you will fail. Let me say this clearly. You are not failing when you try, you are training. You are training your nervous system to handle pressure. You are training your mind to recover from mistakes. You are training your heart to stay open after disappointment. You are training your discipline to survive boredom. You are training your identity to become stronger than your excuses. There is no confidence without exposure. There is no confidence without risk. There is no confidence without vulnerability. You do not become powerful by being protected. You become powerful by learning how to survive discomfort with integrity. Think about the things you are avoiding right now, the conversation you keep postponing, the opportunity you keep talking yourself out of, the habit you keep delaying, the skill you keep saying you will learn someday. That place you are avoiding is not random. That place is where your confidence is hiding, not waiting, hiding, because it can only appear when you step into the very space you are resisting. You do not heal your fear of being seen by staying invisible. You do not heal your fear of failure by avoiding challenge. You do not heal your fear of rejection by staying silent. You heal fear by meeting it, by letting it walk beside you while you move forward anyway. And here is the part nobody tells you. Your first steps will feel fake. Your first confidence will feel forced. Your first courage will feel borrowed. Your first attempts will feel clumsy. That does not mean you are doing it wrong. It means you are doing something new. Your brain is wired to protect familiarity, not fulfillment. So when you step into unfamiliar growth, your mind will try to pull you back. It will remind you of past mistakes. It will exaggerate future risks. It will replay old criticism. It will whisper that you are not enough yet. But your mind is not your enemy. It is just outdated. It is operating on old evidence. And you update evidence with behavior, not with intention, not with hope. Behavior movement creates confidence. Consistency builds self-trust. Self-trust becomes courage. Courage becomes capacity. Capacity becomes expansion. And expansion becomes a life that feels like it belongs to you. Some of you are exhausted because you are trying to think your way into a new life. You are trying to analyze yourself into transformation. You are trying to understand your wounds into confidence. You are trying to process your past into bravery. Understanding is important. But understanding without movement becomes a comfortable prison. You can read every book. You can listen to every podcast. You can learn every theory. But your nervous system does not change through information. It changes through experience. And experience only comes when you move. You do not need to wait until you are healed to begin. You heal while you begin. You do not need to wait until you are fearless to act. You become braver because you act. You do not need to wait until you trust yourself to try. You trust yourself because you try. Every promise you keep to yourself rewrites your self-image. Every promise you break quietly teaches your mind that you cannot be relied upon. And that is not shame, that is feedback. And feedback is powerful when you listen to it with compassion instead of punishment. You are not broken. You are unpracticed. You are not weak. You are unfamiliar with your own strength. You are not incapable. You are underexposed to challenge. Your confidence is not missing. It is undeveloped. And development requires stress, healthy stress, chosen stress, purposeful discomfort, the kind that grows you instead of drains you. Some of you are living under the weight of perfection. You think you must perform your future flawlessly to deserve it. But progress does not come from perfection. It comes from participation. You are allowed to be a beginner. You are allowed to be slow. You are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to change direction. You are allowed to revise your identity. But you are not allowed to keep postponing your life while waiting to feel less human. You do not grow out of uncertainty. You grow through it. You do not grow out of fear. You grow with it. You do not grow out of insecurity. You grow by building evidence that you can handle what once intimidated you. Your confidence is built in private long before it shows up in public. In the mornings when you choose discipline over distraction. In the evenings when you choose reflection over numbing. In the moments when you choose honesty over performance. In the moments when you choose movement over mood. Mood will lie to you. Your mood will tell you that you are tired when you are actually untrained. Your mood will tell you that you are unmotivated when you are actually undisciplined. Your mood will tell you that you are not ready when you are actually afraid. Your mood is temporary. Your habits are permanent. Confidence is not created by how you feel. It is created by what you do despite how you feel. Some of you are waiting for someone to believe in you strongly enough to make you believe in yourself. But belief borrowed from others is fragile. The smallest criticism can collapse it. The strongest applause can inflate it. Real confidence is stable, because it is built on your own record, your own effort, your own consistency, your own integrity, your own courage. And that record can only be written through action. When you look back on your life, you will not remember how motivated you felt. You will remember the moments you moved when it was hard. You will remember the day you finally spoke. You will remember the day you finally left. You will remember the day you finally started. You will remember the moment you chose yourself in a way that scared you. Those are the moments that shape identity. Those are the moments that turn fear into fuel. Those are the moments that teach you who you really are. Movement creates confidence, and confidence creates momentum. And momentum requires destiny. But you must start small. You must start now. You must start honestly. You must start with what you have, with the energy you have, with the skill you have, with the time you have, with the courage you have today, not the courage you imagine having someday. Because someday is not a strategy. Action is there is a version of you that only exists on the other side of participation, not on the other side of thinking, not on the other side of waiting, not on the other side of perfect planning, on the other side of movement. And that version of you is not braver because life became easier. That version of you is braver because you kept moving when it wasn't. That version of you is not more confident because the world finally approved. That version of you is more confident because you stopped requiring approval to proceed. That version of you is not stronger because fear disappeared. That version of you is stronger because fear stopped controlling your choices. So do not wait to feel confident. Let your actions teach you who you are. Let your behavior introduce you to your courage. Let your consistency rewrite your identity. Let your movement shape your belief. Let your steps become your evidence. Let your effort become your self-respect. Let your discipline become your freedom. Let your life become proof. Movement creates confidence, not the other way around.